89-ті роковини Голодомору 1932-1933 років. І сьогодні тут у Торонто біля пам'ятнику Голодомору відбулася поминальна панахида. Отож, залишайтеся з нами.
Благословен Бог наш, завжди, нині, повсякчас і на віки віків.
Отче наш, що єси на небесах, нехай святиться ім'я Твоє, нехай прийде царство Твоє, нехай буде воля Твоя, як на небі, так і на землі. Хліб наш насущний дай нам сьогодні, саме душі робіт
Єси воскресіння життя і спокій душ спочилих рабів Твоїх, голодом замучених батьків, матерів, дітей, братів і сестер наших, яким ми днес споминання творимо, імена яких Ти сам знаєш, Христе Боже наш, і Тобі славу воссилаєм з безпочатковим Твоїм Отцем і пресвятим, благим і животворчим Твоїм Духом, нині і повсякчас і на віки віків.
At this time, we call upon the following guests to lay their wreaths and pay their respects to the victims of the Holodomor. Representing the government and people of Ukraine, Oleksandr Shevchenko, Consul General of Ukraine in Toronto. Representing the City of Toronto, His Worship, John Tory. Representing the Government of Canada, Members of Parliament, Yvonne Baker, Etobicoke Centre, and James Maloney, Etobicoke Lakeshore. Leader of the Official Opposition and Leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, the Honourable Pierre Poilievre. Representing the Government of Ontario, the Honourable Monty McNaughton, Minister of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development, and the Honourable Kinga Surma, Minister of Infrastructure. Representing the New Democratic Party of Ontario, Chris Glover, Member of Provincial Parliament for Spadina, Fort York. President of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, Alexandra Kichi. President of the Ukrainian World Congress, Paul Grod. Representing the Holodomor survivors, Mr. Mykola Latishko. President of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, Toronto Branch, Petro Shturin. Former UCC Toronto President and Chairperson of the Holodomor Memorial Committee, Oksana Reva.
I think it's fair to say that when you see all orders of government represented as they are here today and all political parties, that we are united in our solidarity, both in commemorating the Holodomor, but also in commemorating the atrocities that are going on today. This year, as we commemorate the Holodomor genocide of the 1930s and its ongoing generational impact, and I think it's important for us always to remember with a lot of these kinds of things that we commemorate, that there are generational impacts. There is intergenerational trauma that affects people, and of course it's been brought very much up to date by the events that are presently happening today, which is why we need to be reminded of these things. Ukraine continues to face today a brutal war initiated by Russia earlier this year. So we do today commemorate and mourn the lives lost during the Holodomor, but we also continue to mourn the loss of lives of those who've been killed in the course of the Russian invasion. I hope that some of the witnesses we're going to hear from today, and I'm glad that they're still here with us, because this is the best way in which we can be reminded of what happened. I cannot fathom being a witness or being there at the time something like this happened, but I do commend our friends who are here once again to speak to us this year for their courage and for their persistence in being here. And I thank all of you for being here at this monument, put here purposefully in a location in our city that says that we, not just the Ukrainian community, all of us in this city, all of us in Toronto, will not forget, and that we will, not forgetting, make sure that we maintain the kind of vigilance in the light of what is going on, and stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine and with all of you in this community. So I thank you very much for inviting me to be here again today, and I will continue to stand with you, both to mark the Holodomor here year after year, and to continue to stand strongly against what is happening in Ukraine today. Thank you. Slava Ukraini!
In the decision of the parliaments of Estonia and Latvia, Poland and Czech, in the resolutions of the NATO and the Council of Europe parliamentary assemblies, the European Parliament, Russia and its regime are recognized as a terrorist state or a state sponsoring terrorism. That is why today all our eyes are turned to the Hill in Ottawa, to the Queen's Park, to the MPs and MPPs who are present here today, to the other provincial assemblies of Canada. Be brave as Ukrainians are. Dare as Poles, Estonians, Latvians and Czechs dare to call Russia by the name it deserves. We should stay united and strong to prevent any attempt to reincarnate the imperial totalitarian state where the lives of millions could be easily sacrificed in the interests of the few. Вічна пам'ять безвинним жертвам. Glory to Canada. Слава Україні.
I've shared with some of you in the past that my grandmother, my Baba Olena, was a survivor of the Holodomor, and she rarely spoke of the Holodomor. But she did once tell me that she hoped that the victims of the Holodomor would not only be remembered, but that they would be honored. Honoring them, she said, meant not just remembering them or commemorating them, but taking the steps to ensure that a crime like this never happens again. After World War II, we said never again. Every year in the House of Commons, in this city, across the country, we commemorate genocides and atrocities from around the world, and we say never again. Right now, in Russian-occupied Ukraine, it is happening again. Russia is attacking civilian critical infrastructure. They are murdering, torturing, and raping women and even children. Russia is committing genocide in Ukraine. Let us learn the lessons of the Holodomor, and let us honor the victims of the Holodomor.
The Soviet Union, an evil empire, deliberately targeted the Ukrainian people with the hope of smothering hopes of independence by depriving the population of food, ironically, in the very breadbasket of Europe. These deliberate policies led to millions of people losing their lives in the most painful possible way, through starvation. That we must stand with the Ukrainian people now as they are under attack again from an unjustifiable, aggressive invasion by the Russian dictatorship. Truth and righteousness prevail, and so it will be again with this conflict. And I wish you all strength as you continue to support family and loved ones in Ukraine, as all of Canadians stand in solidarity with them and you. Thank you very much. Slava Ukraini.
Для Форум ТВ з Торонто Костянтин Сніцер та Лариса Баюс.